in Sudan, more people have been displaced because of fighting than in any other conflict on earth. Today, the UN Security Council has been meeting to discuss the situation in Sudan, with the UK calling for an immediate ceasefire as the country teeters on the brink of famine. As many as 5 million people face starvation because of the war. But how did we get here? Well, back in 2019, the head of the Sudanese army and the leader of a powerful rebel group, the Rapid Support Forces, took control of the country in a power-sharing agreement. But the men fell out and have been battling for total control for almost a year. Tens of thousands have died and millions have had to flee their homes. Now, the BBC hasn't been able to report from the front line since the fighting began. But now, the BBC Arabic's Feras Kilani has gained rare access with the Sudanese army in the city of Omdurman, close to the capital, Khartoum. A warning, you may find some of the details in his report upsetting.
Children in Sudan are facing a living nightmare. Aid agencies warn an entire generation is at risk. 300 families are crammed into this school here in Port Sudan. Zubayda, a mother of 8, has leukemia. She hasn't been able to get her medication since the war erupted last April.
My last pills finished 3 days before the war. From that moment on, I'm suffering. I'm in constant pain. I'm so tired.
These classrooms should be full of children learning. Instead, desperate people from across Sudan are sheltering here for safety. But there are horrible stories hidden here. 5 people have died of cholera, and others are suffering from severe diseases. This clinic feels like a front line of a humanitarian disaster the world doesn't know is happening. Starving children getting what little help they can. We meet Ikram, who has lost all hope, struggling to keep her 3-year-old daughter, Manasik, alive. She could barely tell us the RSF stole her home, stole her life. And this is where her life was, in the city of Omdurman, the front line of this war. Sudanese army troops have been in a battle with the Rapid Support Forces for nearly a year. A war that has devastated this country. The UN says both sides face accusations of horrific abuses, even war crimes. Claims both deny. The army was keen to show us the damage they say was inflicted to the city and its people by the RSF. They tightly controlled what we saw and where we went. Millions across the country have had to leave their lives behind. Few have stayed. 64-year-old Mukhtar took us to see what used to be a town square. Now a makeshift graveyard.
There are 150 people here. I knew many of them. Muhammad, Abdullah, Jalal. It's just me left.
A moment to remember their names. For many, a grave is only a number. The world has been distracted with other wars, other suffering. But the appeal from here is clear. The world is being urged not to forget Sudan. Feras Kilani, BBC News, Sudan.